Hey there, Justin Chamness here with the Real Estate Wholesalers Club, where we're all about getting you to that first deal paycheck or that next deal paycheck. And today, I've got a special treat for you here on the live Shut Up Money show. On Saturdays, we do this every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time, guys. That's 8 a.m. West Coast. That's 11 a.m. over there on the Eastern Standard Time for all you East Coast people. If you want to get in the Zoom room with us here today, feel free to do so by visiting www.zoomjustin.com. Okay. Zoomjustin.com. If it asks for a password, you know the password is money. Okay. All right. So put money in the box and the whole world will open up to you. All right. Good morning, everybody. Still folks piling up in here. Yeah, you're welcome to come into the Zoom room. We are Real Estate Wholesalers Club. Today, I've got a special treat for you. We do want to do live Q&A. I'm going to try to check in with YouTube and Facebook and Periscope and some places and see if there's any comments. So if you're adding comments there, I'll try to check in sometime during the show here today. But if you're in the Zoom room, feel free to interact with us. Open up your camera and your microphone and ask questions, because I have a real special treat for us here today for a few minutes at least. It's a guest, a guy that is from, ready, drum roll. I wish I had sound effects. Queens, New York, right? And everybody's probably thinking, ooh, Queens, New York. Oh man, we see them on the news every day now. Well, I don't think it's, I'll just let him tell what it's like up there, but it hasn't been the end of business for you, has it been, Jordan? This is Jordan Santiago, guys. Meet Jordan Santiago.
What's going on, guys? Yeah, no, it has not been the end of business for us. Not yet.
You know, I wanted to have you on the show because you are kind of getting some notoriety out there, man. You know, it's funny. We live in a social media world where news travels fast, super fast, all the way around the globe. And from where you are in Queens, New York, and where I am in Kansas City, Missouri, I heard, like, I think the same day, within hours, from a mutual friend that you had gotten 3 deals this month.
Yeah, it was actually that week that we picked up 3 new deals. You know, with this quarantine going on, I know a lot of people think this is the end. You know, we got to put our stuff on hold. So I really wanted to put that out there to show people that, you know, we're still rocking and rolling. You know, this doesn't have to end right now.
So tell us a little bit about your business, Jordan. What do you do? And is it ugly house stuff, pretty house stuff? Are you looking to do fix and flips, buying holes? What kind of deals were these, and what are you looking for?
Yeah, so right now we are primarily wholesaling, right? We do wholesale super ugly houses that need, you know, 200 grand of work, and we'll wholesale houses that don't need any work or $10,000 of work. Really all depends on where we could obviously get the price, the motivation level, the situation, whatever the seller situation is. We are looking to do some buy and holds as well. We have a property in New Jersey, actually, that we're looking to keep for ourselves. We actually have a property in Tallahassee that we're looking to keep for ourselves. And we're also dabbling a little bit into the apartment syndication side as well, which is, you know, large apartment complex buildings that we're looking to raise money for and buy and hold.
Wow, that's incredible. So how'd you get started?
Yeah, so I was actually a baseball player. Was scouted by the Detroit Tigers and was going to get drafted. Yeah.
Oh, and, man, it's incredible. I had no idea.
Yeah, no.
I should have known. I'm so sorry, man.
Yeah, no, I'm a big sports junkie. So I went to college to, you know, kind of increase my draft position. At college, I was kind of like, I'm worn out, you know, like I wouldn't say I fell out of love with baseball, but I was a little worn out, you know. So yeah. I was kind of lost after that. I really was. I dropped out of my first semester of college. You know, I just didn't like it. Was really lost. And I remember reading one day about real estate on, I think it was just some random article. You know, it wasn't even real estate investing. It was real estate agency. So I went and got my license in Manhattan. Really have not even used it, because once I finished it, I found what wholesaling was.
Yeah.
And then at that point, I was 18 years old. I'm 22 now. I was 18. Really had no money at all, no direction, no mentor guidance, and really just started reading. Reading books, ordering books, and listening to podcasts. I had no job, no money, so I'm sitting home, studying this 24/7. I was obsessed with it. And then I eventually just jumped in, man. I jumped in not really knowing what I was doing. Like I said, I had no guidance, and I just made a ton of mistakes. And I mean, that's really where I started.
Yeah, man, that's an incredible story that you're writing there.
Yeah.
You'll probably have to have a book someday. Have you thought of that? You
Yeah, of
planning on?
course. Absolutely.
Yeah,
For sure, man.
that's great. So you kind of have your story's not wildly different, in that respect to everybody else, myself included, and everybody else. Learning, consumed with it mentally, 24 hours a day, can't get it off our minds, and study and study it, and still like struggle for a little while trying to get the pieces together.
Absolutely. Oh man, it took me. I would say it took me somewhere between 8 to 12 months to get my first deal. So it was it was a rough time for sure.
I liked what you were saying earlier, Jordan, about the what kind of, when I asked you what kind of deals you're looking for, you said something like, it could be a pretty house, a creative deal, it could be a cash deal, it could be a fix and flip type thing, or a buy and hold thing. You're really just looking for a motivated seller. Is that what you said?
Yes, exactly. I mean, when I would say about 2 years ago, I had a conversation with, I don't know if you know him, Joshua Gaiman in Arizona. Dude's a monster, a wholesaling monster, and he's like, he wholesales so many houses that barely need any work, and I think a lot of people coming into the business think, we got to find vacant, gutted properties or beat up properties, and that's just not the case. We're actually we're making a $15,000 assignment fee on a house that maybe needs $5,000 to $10,000 of work. The guy just wants to move to his homeland in Jamaica and doesn't really want to wait. He doesn't want to have an agent bringing people in and out. So like you said, it's all about motivation and where you can get the price. If I can get a pretty house, 70% less than the current value, why not? Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. I've even thought many times, we run into deals as wholesalers where it doesn't fit the 70% rule necessarily, but it's a major discount anyway, and it's a pretty house ready to move in. There's no law that says that you couldn't sell it yourself as a wholesaler to a retail buyer, right?
Absolutely. I mean, those move-in ready homes that are mortgageable, that banks will finance, there's absolutely nothing stopping anyone from getting that under contract and assigning your interest to a regular home buyer, retail buyer that's actually going to move in with his or her family and live there.
Yeah, absolutely. So don't get, remember guys, if you're listening out there, this is creative real estate, right? And so you need to be a little creative. Now, I know some folks out there aren't too creative.
Yeah.
I'm creative in a strange way. Like if you give me a piece of paper and a pencil, man, don't ask me to draw nothing, because I'm horrible with art. One time I tried to do a Bob Ross painting, man.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I'm the same exact way.
But when it comes to real estate, I can definitely see the opportunities, which is kind of what being creative means, I think, and seeing the opportunities of, hey, what could happen? How do we make this a deal? Because the deals that are best out there are not found, guys. You're not going to scrape Craigslist and scrape Zillow and have them just completely 100% fall all put together in your lap. There's a bit of making of a deal, like you've heard people say, let's make a deal. Well, that's where the best deals are. They're made, right? So I don't want you to have to give us all your secrets, Jordan, but I'm really, really curious what it's like being in Queens, New York, but you're not just geographically locked into that area, right? You're not just looking for properties in the New York area. You're looking for properties pretty much wherever they may be. Is there a particular kind of, and like I said, you don't have to tell us all your secrets, but is there any kind of particular marketing philosophy, techniques, anything that you could share with us to, kind of whet our appetite for getting out of our local markets? Because, some local markets aren't aren't too whippy sometimes, right? Like I have some students that struggle in some major metropolitan areas, and I can see why really at this time the prices have been just absurd, right?
Yep.
Motivation level has just been not there for a
Yeah.
lot of homeowners. So can you talk about a little bit about what you're doing and how you're coming across deals, or maybe you don't want to tell us your secrets, man?
No, yeah, absolutely. So like I said, I'm in Queens, right? New York in general is just insanely competitive. It's insanely expensive.
Right.
It's just a fight, it's just a fight all the time. That's why I think it took me so long as well to, get that first deal, right? So when I really figured out, and when I was talking to a bunch of high level people, even high level people struggle in this business, finding good deals in New York City, so I think I actually was introduced to the New Jersey market by accident. Like I stumbled upon it by accident. And I'm like, this might be a little better. The people are a little nicer. They're a little more realistic with their pricings and what their house is worth. The home values are a little lower, so we're not talking about a lot of, $750 to $1 million ARVs. Yeah. Like New York homeowners are extremely sophisticated. They're smart with what they own. So I think for us, right, we were really trying to target the motivation level, obviously, and get in touch with these people as quick as possible. Cold calling is still our number one. I think that brings us the best leads. We also do SMS. That is a little more of a quick hit.
Auto dialer or no auto dialer, Jordan?
Auto dialer. We use Call Tools. I highly recommend it to anyone that's looking for an auto dialer, for themselves or for their employees. Our cold callers use it. It's terrific. You can, I think it's cheaper than the other ones, and you can call up to 10 people. There's a redial, a redial template that, if this person doesn't answer, gives you a call back in 5 minutes, then a half an hour, then an hour, then 5 hours, until you eventually try to get that person. So I think that's huge in not even putting the follow-up into your whatever CRM you're using, but Call Tools is almost like a little CRM as well. It keeps you on your follow-up, it keeps you on your game. So I think, to me, Call Tools is number one. I use Mojo. I like Call Tools better, but cold calling on Call Tools, I think that's our number one right now.
Wow, that's great. And so you get data from a data source, like someone may get it from PropStream or some other place, but
PropStream, the counties, we've gotten deals off of REI Pro, some list source. What's the other one? HOA Vacants, those are all good list sites that we pull some data from.
Are you guys taking notes out there or what? This guy's dropping knowledge bombs for everybody right here, man. I hope you're paying attention out there, guys. What an incredible honor to have Jordan and Santiago here with us today. It's incredible, the stories and the things you're sharing with us, man. I want to say thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm curious to where do you see yourself going with this? Well, also let me back up before we ask you that.
Yeah.
Are you doing this alone, or have you outsourced? Do you have a team that you develop, like VAs, virtual assistants, acquisitions managers, or dispositions managers, or any of that, or can you talk about that a little bit?
So right now, I started off alone. Obviously, I was alone for about a year and a half, 2 years. I recently partnered maybe a couple months ago with my guy, John, who's a freaking monster real estate agent and investor out in Long Island, New York. We met at one of these Brooklyn brownstones, $2 million flips. And, we met up one day and we talked a little more, and we were like, let's team up. He's super high energy like myself. We're super passionate. We breathe this business, so I needed to align myself with someone like that. And I thought it would really, really help both of us. And so right now it's me, him, and we do have 3 people working on the rest as well. We don't have acquisitions, dispositions at the moment. We are actually sending out usually a photo team, a real estate like BPO photo team, to take pictures for us at the property. and then we will handle the negotiations and stuff as well. We will be transitioning into, breaking those roles down because we are spreading out into multiple markets. But that's where we are right now. That is our team.
Okay, great. Yeah. See, guys, everybody's business kind of looks different a little bit, I think. We all have kind of similarities, and we're all doing certain kind of things, and we're outsourcing things in a certain way, but it really is going to look like you as a business owner, right? So Jordan's is going to look like Jordan's, and mine's going to look like mine, and yours is going to look a little bit like yours, and yours might look a little bit like mine. It might look a little bit like Jordan's too, but it's all different. So don't feel like you have to copy or imitate anybody like exactly. If you're going to outsource, I recommend outsourcing the parts of your business that you don't like, right?
Absolutely.
And the
100%.
tedious stuff. But I also really believe in automation. Like you were talking a lot about that, Jordan, and automating and doing. Well, you do cold call, but you've got an auto dialer, right? So that's some kind of automation there. It's helpful, speeds up the process, right?
Yeah, we don't. My partner and I, we don't cold call at all. We have our cold callers doing it. They're awesome. We're
Okay.
a little family. Yeah, they're cold calling for us. They're cold calling. Two of them are cold calling the wholesale business, and one of them is cold calling the leads that we are, like I said, trying to reach for the apartment syndication, 100 units and up. So that's their roles right now.
So you guys are doing kind of a number of different gigs here. Really, you're looking for the smaller. I say small, but it's not necessarily small. But the single family residence, the motivated homeowner there, and I'd like to ask you to talk a little bit more about that too. But then also your strategy is you're also kind of fishing for a whale too with the apartment stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think in that space, that's something that I'm passionate about as well. I think there's just an insane opportunity to make a ton of money in apartment syndication, whether it's wholesaling, because when you're talking about 5, 10, $15 million properties and up, your wholesale fee is probably going to be around 500,000, $1 million, $2 million.
Yeah.
And even if we hold it, which is our main goal, right, to raise money, we've already raised a couple millions of dollars to raise money and to hold it. Value add type deals where we can go in, might be bad management, might be some renovations that need to be done. We go in, we fix it up, we replace the management, and we increase the rents, which increases the value.
Yeah.
We hold it, we increase the rents for 5, 10 years, and then we sell it at a much higher price than we got it for, and we're looking to acquire a bunch of those.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I heard somebody else talking about this strategy or a similar strategy a couple of weeks ago, and I'm fairly ignorant on it. I'd like to learn more. So you've got me intrigued, man. I'm gonna have to dive into it.
Yeah, there we go.
I wish you had a yeah. That's great. That's why we do this, man.
Exactly.
I was wondering, do you have a website or anything that folks maybe can go check out, or anything what can we do maybe to help you? Is there anything
Our website is actually being redone right now, so we do not have one right now.
Okay.
But once we do, it should be in, I don't know, maybe 6 to 10 days.
Yeah.
I'll shoot it over to you, and if anyone wants to come, visit it or get on a call, all for it.
Man, and I only asked that. Well, I can't say only ask that because I have a couple different motives. One is that I'd like you to get some exposure if you want it for something that you're working on. But also, I have some students that are right there in the New York, that area, and Manhattan area, and close by there, and several of them. And so I know they're listening very closely because they understand what you're talking about how you were thinking, I'll push off into New Jersey.
Yep.
Did that work better for you? Or what did you find?
Yeah, absolutely. I found what I like to say to people is New York, when there's an ARV of say 650, which a lot of them are, a lot of the properties here are worth $650,000. and you times that by 7 and you minus the repairs and you minus your fee, your offer is going to be 3 something. Now a homeowner's looking and saying, damn, my house is $650,000 and this guy's offering me 3. Like it's a very big spread that they're uncomfortable with, because like I said, they're stubborn and they're smart.
Yeah.
In New Jersey, when you kind of spread out and the houses are 250 and you minus, times 70, and like you said, the 70% rule doesn't always work. We really don't use it all the time. You might be offering 100. Now the spread is only $100,000, and it's not so egregious to a seller,
Yeah.
So I think there's a big difference there. I think the people in New Jersey, like I said, are more realistic. They're nicer. New York people are rough.
Yeah.
They're rough. But I think our cost per lead for New York was just so much higher. And I love doing deals in New York because, like I said, it's a fight. So when you get it, it's awesome. And this is where we are. So, but New Jersey is really where we're doing a bulk of our business right now.
Yeah. That's great. Great tip, man. When you talk to a motivated seller over there or anywhere, can you describe to us what it's like? A lot of folks haven't ever really talked to a motivated seller. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've talked to people that are sellers, but not motivated sellers. And I'm kind of have the philosophy that that's one of the things that'll run you out of the business quicker than anything, is not knowing what a motivated seller is, what they sound like, and what an unmotivated seller sounds like.
Absolutely, 100%. That's something I had a problem with in the beginning. It's like, all right, I got someone that wants to sell. Why isn't he taking my price? Why isn't he taking my discount price?
Yeah.
There's you're not going to make someone that's unmotivated motivated. Really not going to happen. You could bring them down a little bit, but someone that is going to sell at a huge discount that, has no type of distress or no need to get out of the house or no rush, it's not really going to happen, right? So a motivated seller to me sounds like not always desperate, but their interest level on the phone or through the text is quick. They'll text back or they'll call you back. They're very cooperative, right?
Yeah.
So if you need this done, can you show me this paper or tell me this about the house? They're very cooperative, right? So usually for me, a sign is, I would say, like I said, I'm not trying to say desperate, but they're so intrigued and into the conversation more than sometimes than we are. My cold callers are. They're giving us information without asking. They want us to come see the property. Yeah. If there's tenants inside, they'll say, "We'll deliver it vacant if you need it." So I think, like you said, there's a big discrepancy from what a motivated seller sounds like and an unmotivated seller sounds like. A motivated seller is not going to say, well, sometimes they will. Don't get me wrong. They'll say, "This is my price, and I'm sticking at it." They'll play hardball. But a motivated seller will usually play the field a little, and then they'll kind of submit to, okay, what do you have for me? What can we do to make this work? And I think those are big, signs to tell, is this person really in distress or is it not? Yeah. And it all depends on the questions you ask. I try to drill into my cold callers' heads that the questions you ask on the upfront call are so important to us. Where we think we can get them down to, what type of deal this is. You need to find a motivation level when you're calling, when you have these people on the phone through SMS. You have to ask the right questions, and their answers will usually tell you, even if they don't sound desperate or in distress, their answers will usually tell you, okay, this person might need to sell pretty quick.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. That's been my experience too, that there's a night and day difference between a really truly motivated homeowner and one that's just, I heard a guy say yesterday, a student sent me actually this call went really well between the student and the homeowner, but I was listening to a recorded call and the guy said, the homeowner said, when he first got on the phone, he said, I don't need to sell. He was an older guy.
Yeah.
I don't need to sell. I was just really out testing the market. And I was like, you testing the market? What the heck does that mean? I put that guy at like a 2 motivation on a scale of 1 to 10, right?
Yeah.
But actually, the student stayed on for a little while and the guy quit lying. That's really what it amounted to. Let me ask you, I'd like to open up the room for Q&A, man. If you don't mind taking a few questions, is that okay?
Absolutely. Yeah. Awesome.
And I know there's 16 of us here in the room. If you want to join in the Zoom room, guys, you got a question for Jordan or me, you can hop in here at www.zoomjustin.com. Zoomjustin.com. The password is money. Okay. All right, guys. I do want you to be able to unmute your mics and ask some questions here, but I do have one more question for Jordan. And that is, while you're getting your questions ready, I'm going to ask the last question I have for him. And that is, if we had to have the same conversation, Jordan, 3 years from now, and I was to ask you, about what was going on in your business, in your life, what would have had to have happened between now and then for you to be completely happy with your progress in your business?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. I would say scaling in a term as bringing on more people, because I think we have kind of the blueprint right now. We are slowly growing in terms of, leads that we're contacting per month. I think we need more people on board to kind of handle that and help automate it, like you were saying before. I don't want to work in this business full-time forever. We already took out some bits and pieces of it that we don't, my partner and I don't have to do. But I would say, to that question, I would say bringing on more people to scale and to eventually kind of remove myself from the business.
Yeah. That's a great goal to have too. None of us got in this business to want to work full time till we're dead.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, it's like I have so many things. Like I said, the apartment syndication side is huge for me. I'm super into self-storage spaces as well. Like there's just a million other business ideas and things within real estate that, I need to go explore. So I really want to, we're going to grow this to $1 million business, a multi-million-dollar business in multiple markets. We're going to bring on a bunch of people. We're just going to leave a big impact with this business, and this business is never going to stop. But as this one is running, I'm going to go run another one. I'm going to go build another one with a partner or other investors or whatever it may be. There's just a bunch of things that I need to do. I need to go teach people, and there's just a ton of ways to just impact people that I always say, when I first started, I really needed someone to give me some guidance, and I had absolutely no one. So I always said, when I make it, or when I'm at a point where I have the knowledge, I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it. I'm going to help as many people as possible, because I know when I was in that position, I needed it.
Now, knowing your past with the Detroit Tigers, right? You've had a lot of coaches in your life.
Correct.
And you've got that coach thing too, man. I mean, I feel it on you, right? Like I can see it. You would be an awesome teacher. So I'm looking forward to the day when you launch something like that, or a book, or whatever it ends up being, man. Because that's you've got an incredible story you're building here, and I'm excited to see where it all goes. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you for being on the show here with us today. Does anybody have questions here in the Zoom room? There is a question in the chat here. I don't know what Andre means, but Andre said, at what point in the process do you send a BPO, a broker's price opinion?
Yes. Okay. So that, when I mentioned that before, those are the people that go take pictures for us. So when our cold caller has screened the seller, because we're not going to send these people out to every single lead that we have. Obviously, a lot of these leads are retail, or just the seller's playing games. We're not going to send people running all over the place. So as soon as we screen the seller, and we let our BPO guys know that this is a motivated seller, or there's some interest here, or there's something here, that's when we'll send these people out to go take pictures of the property for us. They take exterior, interior, on the side of the road, the house next door, the back, whatever it may be. That's the part of the process. Once we know, okay, this seller's motivated, we could try to make a deal, or there is an absolute deal here. That's when we send our picture guy over there.
So is this a picture guy that works right out of your office, or is it like somebody you hire or boots
No,
on the ground
this
you
is a
find?
service that everyone can use. Off the top of my head, I think it's BPO Photo Flow.
Okay, so BPO is not, it doesn't mean broker's price opinion in this particular
Exactly.
situation.
No,
Okay.
this is I think they do have that service as well. I mean, but I don't use it obviously. But that is what we use for pictures right now. It's pretty awesome. You know, it's cheap, and they do great work. So
Yeah,
I think
that's
anyone
great.
all over the country. I think obviously there's some remote areas that they might not have agents to go take pictures for you, but in larger parts, or not even large, but average parts of the country, they'll have someone to go and take some pictures of any property that you need.
So this is like boots on the ground for the virtual real estate investor.
Exactly.
What is that website again, man? Because I know people are taking notes like paper and pen are burning up right now.
Yeah, BPO Photo Flow, I believe it is.
Okay. Yeah,
Very
check that out, guys. Google that. That's a hot tip right there. That's an incredible tip.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Hey, Jocelyn says, hey, good to see you, Jocelyn. Been a minute, but good to see you. Do you do any lease optioning in your business? For commercial, would you do a master lease option, or
Yeah, so for the single family, we do. We don't do them as much. We usually do seller financing or subject to. There are some obviously situations where a lease option needs to be done. We've done them in the past. We don't have any right now. All of the deals under contract right now are actually just straight up, equity, no creative thing right now. I think because a lot of it is, the pre-foreclosures and list pendants and all that stuff are on hold right now around this area. So no one's getting kicked out. No one's getting foreclosed on, which is a great thing. But that's usually when we use our most creative financing strategies, is when, there's little to no equity.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. That's an awesome idea, to have the ability to make a cash offer discounted. Right. And then also have a creative offer that maybe is even what they're asking, where you could come in and have the monthly cash flow, because the monthly works out, right? That's kind of how you have to analyze those deals a lot. If you're not going to be paying too much to the seller monthly, you might be able to cash flow on this deal and maybe even collect some money down, right?
Exactly. Absolutely. I mean, I think what I say to some people that works a lot as well is, when you're making an offer, make 3 offers. If it works, if the seller owns it free and clear, make a discounted offer and then make a seller financing offer. If, there's a mortgage on it, make a regular discounted offer, make a sub 2 offer, make a lease option. Let them choose. They'll feel a little more empowered. They'll feel a little more open and free. They might like none of them. Okay. They might like 0 of them, which is fine, but you're giving them options, because in this business, we're here to help people, right? We're here to make money and help people. Giving them options obviously gives us more of an opportunity to, make money ourselves. And when you're creative, it gives you a higher chance to be able to help these people, which is obviously super important for, people like us in this business.
Yeah. So you like to do the multiple offer kind of thing. And other people, they like to do a single offer. But I've never talked to anybody honestly about this. This is a great thing that you brought up. Have you tried it both ways, and you like the multiple tier?
I've tried it both ways, and we don't do the multiple offer on every single one. We do the multiple offer usually on people that we're getting around the price that we need, but are a little more stubborn than the average regular seller.
I see.
We'll give them a little more leeway to say, all right, we have 3 offers for you. Which one do you like the best? We'll try to work this out with you. Which one do you like the best? We know we'll make money on all of them, and we know we'll be able to help you on all of them. So which one do you like the best? Some want to sell their house and get all the cash up front. Some like the idea of saying, you know what? monthly income every month, and not maybe getting a balloon payment in 5 years, that sounds interesting too, because maybe some people see it as almost like a rental, passive income every month. They like that idea. So different sellers are going to respond to different things. You kind of have to figure that out. Which are these people super stubborn? Do they want all the cash up front? Are they okay with a large lump sum in the back end with residual payments a month? And I think you have to go based off that, truly.
Yeah. That's excellent advice, man. It's also kind of goes back to the being creative part of creative real estate. Not every homeowner in every situation is exactly the same. In fact, none of them are really.
Exactly.
And so, you have to think through these processes and make these deals, right? So, and you were saying that it took eight or 10 months or something like that before you got your first deal from when you began. And since then, you've been very active. So there is something about, I guess, to be said about that learning curve of getting to that first deal and getting some of these processes in mind and some of these systems in place, and not giving up. I mean, are you glad you didn't? Right?
Oh man, it's I always say those 8 to 12 months, going from a top level baseball player to, all right, I don't know what I'm doing now, and I don't have any money, I don't have a job. It was the most depressing, time of my life. It was super dark. It was just a tough time to navigate through, and no one's truly going to see your vision like you see it, right?
Wow.
No one ever is, right? So you have to kind of live in your own world. You have to have just the most ultimate and powerful belief in your vision and what you believe in and your capabilities. And I always knew, I said, every day I felt like I was inching closer and closer and closer, even though, every day was tough without a deal. But when I held that first check in my hands, man, it was only $2,000. That was my first check. It was $2,000. It was a JV deal. It felt like $2 million, man. It felt like $2 million. It was one of the greatest feelings in the world. So super happy I didn't give up. And I always say to everyone, my Facebook group or anyone that I come across is like, I promise you, if you do not give up, you will get that deal and you will learn something that will help you grow and get multiple deals. Right? Life will kind of pave its own way for you if you don't give up. If you give up, you don't have a shot, Man,
that's great. That's super good advice. Yeah. Super good. Yeah. That's that shut up money. I call it shut up money because it does something, man. It's like it really flips a switch in your brain or something. And it like proves to you, I don't know. There's probably a word to define this.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like, you see the concept and the vision in your head and you're like, I see other people doing it. And it's real, but it doesn't feel real until you actually do it. So that's something, I struggle with too. I'm like, can I even do this? Is this real? Excuse me. When I held the check in my hand for the first time, I said, damn, this shit is real. This is real. I did it. And, now I know, even to me at that age, I did my first deal at 19. So I was trying to prove to my parents this was real because they're like as any parent should or would, go get a job. And I'm like, I feel it. I'm close. So I stood my ground and stayed broke for a long time. And I got it. And I proved to myself, I think I was happier that I proved to them than even to myself that, this is real. This is possible. So it was amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's my experience too. It's not just about telling your doubts and fears and whatever to shut up. It's like it does something to the relationships in your life too, because it changes you a little. Like, I can totally relate. And it's like something you almost have to experience to really fully understand. Cause I don't think words can express it really fully, at least not mine.
Totally agree.
Yeah, you did a good job with it though.
Thank you.
Anybody got questions here in the Zoom room for Jordan? I've been talking too much.
Hey Justin, this is actually a question for both of you guys, but given the belief that the market is going to crash, which I kind of tend to believe that that is going to happen to some extent or to a big extent at some point. What are you doing about, if you get into a deal right now, get into a contract with somebody with a lease option, and it's based on, pretty much today's market value, but by the time you actually close on it or begin the lease or whatever, the market could have totally changed within the next 30 days. So do you write something into the contract that the price is going to be negotiable at some point if the market does crash? Or
So what we're doing right now, that's a great question, because that's obviously a big topic right now in real estate. Is the market going to tank? A lot of people believe so. We right now are putting in it sounds funny, it's a coronavirus clause. That's what our attorney has drew up for us. It is something like that, right? It lays out that the process of closing and closing of itself is going, it may be delayed, right? Things that we might close in 15 to 30 days might be 30 to 45 to 60 days. Also, that if the market does tank or takes a dip, that we will have to renegotiate. I mean, for example, we had a property in Long Island that we got for $300,000. We're looking to sell it for $330,000. Once this whole lockdown thing went on, we now renegotiated down to $285,000. So we're looking to make 40-45 grand off that one deal, but without that clause, he would have kind of been blindsided.
What's the ARV on that deal, Jordan?
It's about 550.
Boom.
550. It needs a good amount of work. Vacant property, has asbestos in the basement. It needs a good amount of work, but it's in a great area. But
yeah,
I would say, I could actually even forward the clause that we're using in our contracts to.
Oh my God, you would do that, dude?
Yeah, it's been super helpful, and it's kind of saved our butts. It's extended our contract a little longer than needed because some closings are delayed, and some things need to get renegotiated right now.
Yeah, that would be great if you could send that along.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's incredible, man. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Of course.
Very generous offer. Yeah. Thank yous coming in here in the chat too. Okay, great question, Jim. Great question.
Yeah,
Anybody else with a question? Questions, anybody? Questions?
All right, let me ask one more.
Okay.
I just lost a contract. The deal was supposed to close on March 31st. But as a result of all the courthouses and the Register of Deeds closing, they couldn't get in to do a title search. So basically, wasn't able to close. I am contemplating suing her for breach of contract because I have a heck of a lot of time and money and effort put into this. And her goal was to sell the house, buy an RV, travel across the country, and that was going to be her life. But obviously with the stay in place laws that they have right now, that would be a difficult thing to do. So we came up with a solution. She didn't want to get kicked out of her house during the middle of the coronavirus pandemic. So we agreed to let her lease the house for $350 a month for up to 12 months, which I thought was a great solution. Now, do you think that the judge would have any sympathy whatsoever towards me if I were to sue her for breach of contract? I mean, she didn't even return the earnest money, which really, I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back when she didn't even offer to do that.
That's an interesting question. It's funny because I have a seller. I've dealt with a seller basically in the same boat. They wanted to sell the house and buy an RV and go travel the world. But that's a tough situation. That's something I can't really say because I don't have a ton of knowledge on that. Whether the judge would feel super sympathetic or not, I guess that's more of opinion based. I do think though, right? If you are in contract with someone, whether it be, right now when the market may be taking a hit or when the market's at its best, if you are in contract with someone and both people sign the dotted lines and it clearly states what you're saying in the contract, they'll always be a little bit on your side. I don't know how much the judge is going to love your case or how little he's going to love it. But if you have a signed contract with the wording in there that she was supposed to sell or she was supposed to get out or whatever it may be, then you're going to get love. You're definitely going to get love. So I think, in that scenario, you definitely have a chance because you have the contract or had the contract, but both people signed on the dotted lines.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
How much earnest money was it?
I was only $100.
Oh, okay.
Fortunately, but I had 10 visits to the house. I had multiple investors coming over. It was just, it was a nightmare. I put a heck of a lot of time into it. It would have been a nice $10,000 assignment fee, but which I could use at this point, but that ain't going to happen. So this is the other part of the question that I just want to ask either one of you guys. Would you normally, and do you normally file a memorandum of contract? I have not done that, and I'm not sure if it's okay for me to do it at this point, even though the contract has already expired. But would you do that, and would that actually cloud the title to the extent that it may make it more difficult for her to be able to sell the house?
I personally would try it. I definitely would try it. I have done it before when a seller tries to take a higher offer, even though we're on the contract, they might, try to take a higher offer or they want to back out or whatever it may be, I think that is definitely worth a shot. Even though the contract's expired, I would contact someone and try to do that. So she feels like she needs to honor her contract. The thing that she signed, she needs to honor the contract and that she eventually needs to sell. And if she tries to sell to someone else or, try to play any more games, then it kind of limits her,
Yeah.
I would try it.
Good. Thank you.
Sometimes the threat too is enough. Where you can tell a homeowner, hey, I'll go down to the courthouse and cloud your damn title and you won't ever be able to sell that house.
Yep.
Unless you sell it to me. So, I mean, what you tell me what happens next, Mr. Homeowner, Miss Homeowner.
Yeah. I'd be perfectly happy if she would just agree to sell me the house at the price that we had agreed upon previously. I mean, it's only $55,000. So I don't think the value of it's going to go down because the ARV was 130, but just to have
it sounds like that COVID clause. That would have saved your tail on this deal right here. It sounds like. Is that right? Am I thinking right, Jordan?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it really is it's super broad. Like it's like nothing specific, but it covers everything that may crack a deal and make it fall through. I mean, here in, New York, New Jersey, a lot of the lenders stopped lending. A lot of the hard money lenders. So things are just delayed right now. And, without that, we would have probably had a couple of deals fall through already. Like I said, things are definitely delayed, but we're still rolling. We're still proceeding to closing. And without that clause, seller probably could have walked away a couple times, and it's really saved us and helped us.
Yeah, thank you for that.
That's great. Absolutely. Yeah, we got Steve D in the room. I'm surprised we haven't heard from him because he's from New York.
Hey Justin, I got a question.
David's from New York. Hey, what's going on, David?
Hey, not much. Jordan, so I'm in the Long Island, like Nassau, Suffolk, and New York City market too.
Nice.
What do you find like is your best source for leads out here? Because like Craigslist, you just find a lot of people that are trying to JV deals. Like it's just other wholesalers reposting deals up there.
Yeah, that's how I got my first deal, actually, Craigslist, and that's probably why it took so damn long. It took 8 to 12 months. Exactly what you said. It was a JV off Craigslist. I brought the buyer. So for me in Long Island, right, I think if you're going to be in New York, Long Island is a spot to be in. Queens, Brooklyn is like insanely, not only expensive, but just competitive. I would say for Long Island, right, that deal that I was just talking about earlier, that I think we might make 35 to 45 grand. I think going to the courthouse you might have to fight some people, right? You might have to go a couple of times. They might say, no, we have no idea what you're talking about the first time, the second time, the third time. But if you offer to pay maybe $50 or you keep trying, and what I did to get info from the county, the county was I knew someone that got their information from there, and I called him on the spot and I said, hey, Nick, his name is Nick. I said, do you get information from this county? And he was like, yeah, I do it all the time. So she was trying to tell me, they don't give information out. And I kind of put her on the spot. And she was almost forced to give me the information. I think going to the county and fighting those are some of the freshest leads and data that you're going to get, whether it's eviction, whether it's list pendants, whatever it may be. And I think REI Pro is something that a lot of people find inconsistent. We've used it, and that's exactly how we got that 45 grand deal. We got some short sales under there. We got about 2 or 3 other properties. I think something that you could do, right, is REI Pro. Have you ever used REI Pro?
No, I've never used it before.
Okay. They have a free trial, which I used the shit out of. I think you can get 1,000 leads for free, right? And I might be just totally blasting their system right now, but you can get 1,000 leads for free. Say you use another email with another credit card, you can get 5,000 leads for free. I think that's something that you should do, whether it's vacant, absentee, high equity, list pendants. I think that's a great way to, start marketing to those types of people, especially in Long Island. I think you'll get a lot of feedback. You'll get a lot of no's and FUs, but you'll eventually get that yes or referral or wherever it may be. I think the county, REI Pro, PropStream, those are all great sources where you should start looking.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Of course.
It's great. I'm glad you guys were able to connect here. I was thinking about you, David, and I saw you pop on here earlier.
Man, if you ever want to come out to our office, we're actually located, we work out of Long Island. So you ever want to pop out one day and, just sit down and talk with my partner and I, just let me know.
Absolutely, I will. I'll definitely reach out.
Cool.
Thanks, Jordan.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I love David. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. He's a super, super talented man. Nice. So it'd be cool to see you guys connect like that.
Absolutely, man.
Jocelyn, I think, put a question here in the chat. Is anybody here? Anybody else have one they want to ask with the microphone right now? Okay, Jocelyn says she has a property under contract, put it under contract right before the pandemic hit. Now she sees a lot of buyers that she's in contact with are very squeamish. They do not want to tie up their funds because closing is super slow, or they want 50 cents on the dollar. In Ohio is where she's at. Ohio. Is anyone else going through this? She says lenders stopping the money train is not helping. I'm doing creative stuff, guys. I'm doing like lease options and things like this that don't require banks. So what do you have to say about this, Jordan?
I agree. Right now is a great time to get creative, right? To, no money down, or you become the bank, whatever it may be. I think right now is a great time. And if you are not too familiar with creative financing, and that's, seller financing, that's lease option, I would highly suggest that you really, really start reading books or listening to other great podcasts like this one, or, reading articles or watching YouTube videos, whatever it may be. It's a super great way to get into a deal that might not even be a deal, and to get into a deal with no or low money down. And, this is a great time to do so. Whether you're keeping it for yourself or you're wholesaling it, a buyer is much, more comfortable maybe spending $5,000 on a creative deal than, regularly purchasing $100,000 house or whatever it may be. And there's buyers still buying. I know it's tough to find. Trust me, I know it is tough to find. Buyers are still buying. There's people that have cash on hand that are still buying. You have to keep looking. The lenders, that stop lending definitely does not help. Once that happens, a lot of people get squeamish and they back out. There's a lot of sophisticated people still buying. I would suggest you even trying to JV with someone that might have a buyer that has a lender. We're closing on a deal that there's only maybe 1 or 2 lenders in New Jersey that are still lending, but we found them and we're moving forward with this deal, or else it would be frozen still. Really need to search, because like I said, there is people with cash on hand that are still buying and that are still looking for good deals.
I 100% concur with that. Landlord buyers, especially, are still buying, guys.
Number
Don't
one.
worry about that.
Yep.
The guys who are not buying right now are the guys who were running off to the fix and flip hard money lender guy,
Yep.
hoping to get 100% financed on a deal. Those guys are out. Yeah. But were they ever really in? You know what I mean?
Yep. Exactly.
So, and two, I want to say this, because when we hear things like the economy may crash, what does that mean? Let's define that, because in the Great Depression, I think unemployment was 20%, maybe something like this. Okay. That means that there's still a lot of money out there, and there's still a lot of people making money out there, even though there was a lot of other people going hungry. Okay. So yeah, the economy crashing, it doesn't mean that everybody in all places has no money, no food, no prospects, no nothing. Okay. And if you're buying into that, guys, you're buying a lie. Okay. Yeah. You want to stay busy about this and keep your mind clear from, when they say the banks, and I say it too, like the banks have cut like their lending, right? They've raised the credit score for retail buyers to almost 700. And in some cases it is 700, and you got to have 20% down. So they just eliminated a lot of buyers. Okay. Oh no, the sky's falling. We're all going to die. Exactly. No, actually, that's just a great opportunity for me, because I'm a master at creative real estate. I don't need banks. Mm-hmm. And in fact, this is the best opportunity I've got at getting rich in a long time. So I don't know. I mean, that's how I'm looking at it, guys. I don't want to.
That's how you have to look at it. I mean, in this business, we can make money on an up market and a down market. That's why I love it. You just have to, you have to observe the market. You have to observe everything that's going on. You have to play your cards right. Right now we're offering, less than we normally would, because of, we believe that ARVs are going to dip a little. We might be offering 15 to 20% less than what we usually would, but that's something that'll keep us safe. When we get a property on the contract, that's something that'll keep us safe when we get it. We know we'll have room. If the ARVs don't dip, then sweet, we'll make a really nice assignment fee. If it does, we'll still have room to make money, and just like you said, creative financing right now is going to be king. It's going to be king. It's a great way to add to your portfolio. It's a great way to keep wholesaling and flipping deals. That's something that everyone should have in their tool belt. Everyone.
Right. Now go and do likewise.
Yes.
All right, guys, everybody out there, go and do likewise. Yeah. He just explained it to you. This is the opportunity, guy, of a lifetime. Probably you may never have another opportunity as cool as what lays before you today. Don't be so downcast that all you see is the dirt, guys. Okay. There's a lot of great positive things that are going to come out of this for you if you keep the right mind frame and you keep the right activity level. Okay. Keep it real here. Activity, work hard. I'm working harder now than I've ever worked. I promise you that. A long time. In a long time. I'm busy. Why? Because I am not going to go broke while the world goes broke. I'm going to boom. Okay. And I know Jordan's booming, and you can boom too, guys.
Exactly. Perfectly put.
Anybody got any last question? This is it. This is the last chance. It's 11:01. We've kept Jordan here for slightly over an hour, and I won't keep him any longer because his time is valuable and he's been very generous. Any last questions, guys?
I got one question. I love to ask this question. Who does Jordan use for skip tracing? I love to ask that question to different people.
Skip tracing, you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes. So we do use 2 different things. We'll either use REI skip. I love REI skip. I think the skip tracing is not the greatest, but I love it because of the database. that you can go back and search a lead that, might come through our call system, and we need to go look from, what list it was and put it into our CRM. I think that's awesome. We also use Smooth Skip. I don't think that's a really popular one, but I do think it's a super effective one. It usually gives you 5 numbers for a lead. I believe it's 17, 18 cents. I know REI Skip is about 15 cents. I believe Smooth Skip is 18 cents. It's a little more expensive, but in my opinion, it's a little more effective as well. So that's REI Skip and smoothskip.com.
Yeah.
Thank
Good
you.
tips.
I just like to ask. I know there's so many skilled tracing companies out there. It's a shame. Thank you.
Of course, man. Of course.
All right. Hey guys, everybody out there, thank you for watching today. This has been the Shut Up Money Show. We do this every Saturday, 8 a.m. West Coast time, 11 on the East Coast. So come and join us every week. And next week we don't really have a plan. We'll probably be making some seller calls or doing something fun like that.
Nice.
So come check us out, guys. Hey Jordan, thank you so much for being part of this today. This has been, in my opinion, maybe the best one that we've ever done, and we've had some pretty big heavy hitter guests. And man, you have really, really, really brought it to us today, man. Thank you so much, Jordan. Excellent job.
Thank you for having me on. I loved it, and like I said, anyone that needs to reach out or like David wants to meet up, whatever it may be, I'll always be here. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate you having me. It was fun, man. It was fun.
Thank you. And come back sometime and join us if you will. And if next time you get a something you want, your book or whatever it is, your website or a program or a project you want to raise funds for, whatever it is, man, hey, I want to help in any way I can. Okay.
Gotcha. I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Hey, goodbye, everybody. Y'all have a great, blessed Saturday. We'll talk soon.
Take care, guys.
Okay.
Stay
Bye-bye.
safe, all.